This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 242 of The Real Word.
Word is up. We're
All right,
tuned in.
We've got to start with some of the most down news that I've just ever seen in my life.
Uh-oh.
The Hurricane
Of course.
Ian.
I'm glad you're here, though. You survived it.
I did survive. I can tell you a little bit about my experience, which was not nearly as traumatic as some other people's experience.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I just want to reference that there is a link below. This is the Disaster Relief Fund donation form from the Florida Realtors Association. So help realtors recover from natural disasters. Donations to the Florida Realtors Disaster Relief Fund may be completed securely by filling out this form. There's also a note on this form if you want to make sure that this is a tax deductible donation. When I make my donation, I'll be doing
of course
the
you will.
tax deductible
Of
side.
course. I mean, don't we all?
I think why not, right?
Why not?
Help some people and help your tax situation. So I just want to bring reference to that. That link is below. Please, if you can, consider donating. I'm going to make a donation, but I'll make an additional $1,000 donation.
Yeah.
If this video gets 100 likes or
Wow.
more. All right. So hit the thumbs up button on this
Am
video.
I supposed to match that or something? I feel like
Nicole's going to match me.
Wow. Here it is.
Nicole doesn't have to. I'm not going to pressure her in.
No, I'm good with
but
it.
you'll make a donation, right?
Of course.
All right.
Of course I'll make a donation.
I'm going to make a donation. I'll do an additional $1,000. So I'll make a $500 donation. I'll do an additional $1,000 to this if this video gets over 100 likes. So anyways, we're starting racket number one with a New York Times article on the hurricane. All right. So where am I going to go? Floridians hit by a hurricane and a housing crunch. Losses from the storm are just coming into focus. But what is clear is that recovery will be hardest on people already struggling to make ends meet. It's absolutely a great point here because, along the waterfront in Naples or Fort Myers or, some of these other areas that were hit really hard in the Gulf Coast of Florida, you definitely have some extremely high-end homes. But they will find, we have a mutual client today who called and said, hey, I have, different properties. One of my properties that does happen to be in Naples, put it up for $20,000 a month. I'm going to rent it out. And that's going to rent like that.
Of course.
Right? Because you have a lot of displaced
lots of
luxury homeowners that, would be like, yep, it's great. It's safe. It's brand new. Love it. $20,000 a month.
Yeah, I think it's like the third floor. He's good. He's out.
Yep. Dropping the hat and boom, they're going to go while their place is getting fixed up. That being said, along the shore, you also have, you've got like trailer homes.
Of course.
I don't know what's the proper word for trailer homes.
They are trailer homes.
Trailer homes.
They're trailer.
Listen, mobile homes.
Yeah. There's a lot of them down there.
I think it's the worst investment you can ever make in real estate. I can't think of a worse investment. That being said, my heart breaks for the people that were living in one of these homes.
Because it was probably all they could afford.
Right. I would just still argue that you're better off renting or you're better off doing something else. That's a whole different discussion. I don't want to even go down that rabbit hole right now. I'll go down that rabbit hole a different time when it's not as
tender.
Yeah, tender. Anyways, my heart breaks for those people because you literally have nothing to go back. I mean, that just gets wiped out. And I live in Naples, and so I've seen so many different videos in our community right now. They're collecting stuff for people who lost everything. And to see the videos of like the little girl getting one toy when she just lost all of her toys, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I think about
Your kids.
Well, yeah, and luckily my kids were like, giving some of their stuff away because they have way too much stuff anyways.
Of course.
But I think about if we were in that situation where, we went over to Miami for a few days to avoid the storm, and I flew up here from Miami to Connecticut to be with you, Nicole,
I appreciate it,
and the team, and then my wife and daughters and my mother-in-law, they went back to Naples, and we knew we had somebody checking the house. We knew the house was gonna be fine. It was just a matter of get power back, then they were gonna go back. But had the house not been fine, and we had to like bring our daughters over to everything being destroyed, losing every single toy. That's such a thing that.
Well, and then like your
so
friends, and you're looking at your friends' houses, and then their school. Can you imagine like if there's school? I mean, everything that is like that they depend on and that is stable is now gone.
School's still not open.
Yeah.
So they're They're doing a couple hour
But it's
thing.
okay, right?
Yeah, the school's fine. They're doing a couple hour thing today just to get people back. So it's almost like daycare. Like people are just going there to hang out.
Something. Well, what else are you going to do? I mean, it's.
And yeah, it's been really hard on a lot of people. But what I know about that particular area of Florida is there already has been a huge inventory shortage.
For sure.
So while you're hearing about other parts of the country breaking in terms of, oh, inventory is coming back up.
Yeah.
Oh, they're slashing prices.
No way.
That has not been Southwest Florida. There's absolutely no inventory. So for the folks who have been living there, especially if it's just that like that little ranch, that mobile home that we're talking about, they've lived there their whole life. It's been passed down through generations. They've been able to afford this property in Naples, Florida, because it's been passed down to them and they've been living there for years, and now it's gone and they know nothing else other than Southwest Florida. Where are they going to go? There's no inventory to begin with before this happened.
Right.
And rents are going to go. Listen, rents are going to go up just because the market's the market.
Right.
You might say in the comments, hey, they're taking advantage of people by pushing these rents up. The market's the market. All right. Supply and demand, despite the fact that this is a natural disaster and it's heartbreaking, rents are going to go up because there's going to be limited supply of them.
Right.
And so what happens even if you put the price, say at $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $3,000 a month, whatever the market rate is for rent. Well, if you have 50 people that need a rent, somebody's going to offer you $3,500 if it's $3,000.
Yep.
Somebody's going to say, I'll do it for $45.
Even if you put it on for $1,500, you're probably going to get someone that's offering $5. Yeah. Yeah.
So the market kind of takes over there. And if you got a more qualified buyer who's offering you, or renter or whatever, offering you more money, you're going to rent the property out.
Yeah.
So I think New York Times, I hadn't seen this angle a lot, but they're hitting it right on the head, and they're talking about these different stories.
Well, and not just houses, we're talking about cars.
Yep.
I mean, the amount of cars we saw floating all. I mean, it's expensive cars.
So my wife got hit.
Yes.
So she got hit. My daughter was in the car. This was a couple of days before the hurricane. Car has huge damage. She had it scheduled this week to go in. All of the shops for cars, they're not even open.
Yeah.
They're shut down. And then so she's like talking to some people like, hey, when you do open, am I going to be able to come in and get my car fixed? Well, they're like, everybody needs their car fixed. Everybody has car issues now. So it could be like months before.
Well, and even when I know we're real estate agents, but because my husband and I, our lease is coming up and we are looking into getting another car. And again, even that they've halted production on some lines too. So it's going to be awful for a little bit.
So there's a ton of stories in this New York Times article, which we'll link up in the show notes as we always do. I don't have enough money to replace my car and my house. I got enough money to replace one or the other, says Davenport, 50 years of age. The storm surge swallowed his car and engulfed the 28-foot trailer he lived in near Fort Myers.
And what's
Fort
so
Myers
sad
just devastated.
And he probably, and I'm just making up a story here, probably like retired, like fixed income. He probably left the Northeast to hit up down where it was going to be beautiful and sunny. Again, fixed income, not even work. I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but that's what's on our news up here is people from Northeast that have retired, down there.
I know some of these mobile homes have been there for years. They shouldn't be within 5 miles, maybe even 10 of the water. It seems ridiculous to me, but that's a whole nother story. After the storm, many Floridians limited by low or fixed incomes face finding a decent place to live in a state that is mirrored in an affordable housing crash. The state's enduring popularity, inflation, and soaring rental costs have made it one of the least affordable places to live in the nation. So that was already before all of this. Already an estimated 2.24 million households in Florida with incomes below $50,000 pay more than 30% of their income in rent or mortgage. More than a quarter of the total households, according to the University of Florida's Schimberg Center for Housing Studies. In counties that were under evacuation orders, Nicole, less than 20% of homes have coverage through the National Flood Insurance Program.
They don't even have flood insurance.
Less than 20%.
Well, because if they paid them off and they didn't need to have them, you don't.
My uncle, my father was telling me, has his house paid off.
Yep.
He's living off the state of Connecticut, some pension from up here, from back in the day. Paid his house off, got sick of the flood insurance cost.
He didn't pay.
Canceled it 3 months ago.
Oh.
House flooded. Yeah, house flooded. I mean, listen, Uncle Billy, you're an idiot. I mean, quite frankly, that's a
Yeah.
stupid move. I don't actually.
Well, there are lots of people.
He had
though,
the money
that
he had the money to do it.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily.
Yeah, don't get rid of your flood. Don't get rid of your life insurance policies.
He could afford it, which is why I'm saying, hey, Unc, bad move. But people that are trying to make ends meet when inflation is hitting, and this is what this article is talking about, the people that don't have a pot to piss in,
right?
That have to make that decision. Okay, all I have is this house,
right? Or all I can afford is food.
I've inherited this house, and I literally need to make the decision because of inflation to pay my bills, to pay for food, or to pay for my flood insurance policy. You drop the flood insurance. Now, you could have argued that in the last 2 years, you could have capitalized, sold that house, gotten into a different situation.
Potentially.
But they may have been there 50 years, and we know that homes are emotional to people.
Yeah.
Now, for us real estate professionals, well, I know you're an emotional one with homes. I'm not, right? Like, I just know.
Yeah.
It's just how I am, right? But it's not how everybody is.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I mean, I can go on and on about it.
Well, and in Florida, I heard this too. You're not required to have your vehicle insured either. Is that correct?
I don't know. I don't know that to be true, but I know vehicle insurance in Florida is astronomical.
Yeah. But I believe I heard that because you have the uninsured motorist portion of that insurance policy is so expensive because there are so many uninsured drivers. But regardless,
a lot of bad drivers.
But again, another thing where if you lost your car and you didn't have insurance on that either. Anyway, the whole thing is devastating.
Everybody saw the photos.
Yeah.
If you saw any of the photos or videos of Sanibel Island, and Sanibel Island, if you've ever been there,
can
beautiful.
You even get there? I don't even think you can get there.
You can't get there. It's a barrier island where about 6,400 people live year round. It's described as uninhabitable.
Yeah.
You can and when you see the overheads, you're like, it doesn't exist. And so, listen, the death count is rising. It's in the hundreds.
Well, they're still looking.
Yeah. And we already know that it's devastating. If you've spent time in Southwest Florida and some of the spots that you love to frequent, you see them, it's just heartbreaking. It's going to be a long time before the waterfront in a lot of these areas is built back. You think about Fort Myers Beach, may never, ever be the same. Just devastating to see it. So again, we've got that link below if you want to donate. If we get 100 likes or more on this video, I'm gonna throw in $1,000 to help realtors.
I'll make sure you throw in that $1,000 no matter what. But
and some realtors, are in this situation. If you're one of the lucky agent real estate professionals that I've talked to a bunch where they're fine, like me. My house in Naples was fine. Do everything you can. If you've got a little bit extra money, donate it. If you've got the time. I see agents in Naples doing so much stuff, going and showing, the devastation, donating to families. So my hat's off to you guys. You guys are doing a great job.
Are helping to clean up.
Clean up. There's a million things, to do. There's also a link below, Nicole, for PropStream. So
drop it like it's hot. Oh, prop it
like
it's hot.
So if you want to help your business and get more listings, get the data that you need to get the listings to help your business in 2023, to get investments for yourself so you have a little bit more money to invest or to donate when things like this happen. You know what would actually, what I thought about when this happened? And I'm like, okay, how much money can I donate? What can I do to help? These types of things. I'm like, this is why you want to build something up so unique, so special, make so much money so that when things like this happen, you can be there to help in a big way.
For sure.
And so helping your business, PropStream can do that. It's the most trusted provider of real estate information. We've looked at a whole bunch of different options. This is the best option to go get the data. Whether it's you're looking for people that have 100% equity, 50% equity, been in the house 20 plus years, whatever lists you're trying to create, you can do that with PropStream. Create these smart lists. You can download the client data for 10 cents a contact and then go generate leads for listings and for investments for yourself. So hit the link, PropStream, give it a try. You get a 7-day free trial with our link down below. All right, Nicole, racket number two. 7 listing description mistakes you're probably making. So I'm going to go down the list and you tell me what you think. Number 1, not writing one at all. Okay, so
I know that you're a firm believer in not having to write one. I know you are, but you do need one. Yes, you definitely
So
need
I would have
one.
argued maybe a few years ago that you don't need one at all because I'm like, nobody's reading them. And then the more that I am looking at deals and buying deals and just looking for deals, I'm finding myself reading them. So I'm like, you know what?
There's so much information in there.
Yeah.
There's so much information
Yeah,
in there.
there is. You can tell a story now.
But not even a story, though. Like, is again, if you're looking for a deal, like what's in, like, what am I
would argue.
What am I reading?
That an all caps listing description that says, will go fast, Oh,
and then days on market is 90.
And then days on market is 90. And then it's all caps and it's just a crappy description. You're probably better off doing no description other than that.
Okay.
But I would agree, not writing one at all. You've got to have a good description.
One.
All right. Number 2, repeating yourself.
Terrible.
So if the listing is 1,642 square feet and it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, do you write that again in the description?
No, you do not need to write that at all. But I will say, no, you never need to write it again.
All right, this is an Inman article, which we'll link up below, but it says burying the lead, but it's LEDE. I don't know.
If it's like how they spell color with a U.
I don't know what that is. Who wrote this? Christy Murdoch. I love you, Christy.
Should we Google it?
I don't know what the LEDE is.
It doesn't matter.
In the comments, if you know what the heck that is referring to, is that just another way to say lead?
I don't know.
Burying the lead. Okay, so basically, you want to put the most desirable
at the beginning.
At the front.
Grab their attention.
Yeah.
Don't bury it at the end.
You agree?
I agree.
All right. Saying too much, one that goes on and on, like meeting the character limit.
I don't even think there is a character limit on some of these people that write them so long. It's awful. I don't need to know any of that.
So what are you making sure you're taking out? You're not repeating information like we said before, but like what's...
Well, it's mostly about location, what
if there's a pool, you mentioned that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you could. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in your photos. It's going to be,
photos,
and
right?
it's also going to be in the MLS thing. I mean, I guess you could do a pool. Maybe if it's a gunite pool or a heated pool, I would explain that.
A specific saltwater pool.
Yes, I would go that. I don't think we need to talk about gleaming hardwood floors, but I would say that there are hardwood floors throughout.
Here's a big mistake. This is, I think, the most critical mistake agents make is not asking the homeowner for input when you're filling out the listing description.
Sure.
You don't want them coming back to you and saying, you didn't put X, Y, and Z in my listing description. Yeah. That stone fireplace, that saltwater pool. We talked about this and you didn't put it in the description. Right. Why didn't you do that?
We spent $100,000 on this most beautiful patio. Yeah, you don't.
The best thing you can do is create a Google form that you give to all of your sellers and have them fill it out in your words. Don't make this like super, strict on the English or anything like that. Like, don't worry about the English language. Just in your notes, bullet form. Just give me bullet point notes on what is important in your listing description. I'm the professional. I'm the marketer. I'm going to write it up. I'm going to make it look good for you.
You're writing it?
Well, we have a right to write, but make it so that they know you're going to turn their bullet points into a great write-up for the listing description.
And they live there. They live there, so.
Allowing the homeowner to have too much input. So this is why I think the Google form's great. Give me the bullet points of what is important to you.
Give me just the top 3.
Give me the top 3 so I can include those. Yeah. And then number 7, failing to proofread. Absolutely.
Biggest one.
Have somebody else proofread
Definitely need to know the English language. Language becomes important in there.
Never hire somebody like me to write your listing description or it will be crap. I can promise you there.
Yeah. That was, I think, one of our first hires. Remember, we were like, this is awful. We can't keep doing this.
That was one of our first hires. All right. Left, middle, right. What do we got?
Oh, I'm ready. Sorry. There's so much talk about everything. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Dow set to rally more than 1,000 points in 2 days as fear begins to fade. CNN.
So we're recording this Tuesday. If you're seeing this right when it comes out, it's Tuesday, right? And the market for 2 days in a row here as October hits. September's historically a bad month. October is off to the races here. So yesterday, the Dow went up 2.66%. This is Monday, October 3rd that I'm referencing. The S&P went up 2.59%. NASDAQ went up 2.27%, but, huge but, the Fed immediately put some cold water on this fire, on this heating up of the market. They said we're still not at restrictive level and more pain is coming. So there's no doubt that the Fed wants to destroy your portfolio. They said last week, if you were listening closely, the Fed wants to destroy housing. They said it for the first time. We're coming after housing. This market needs to drop in a big way. We're going to do whatever it takes. They said that with clarity for the first time. I know Ricky Carruth in the comments on an Instagram post wanted to say, oh, the Fed's been talking about housing for months. Bull, Ricky. They haven't been talking about it for months. The Fed just specifically pointed housing out in their last talk a week ago and said we're coming after it in the biggest way. They haven't done that in that way at all. This was very direct. They were targeting a market. But anyways, what I'm talking about here with the Dow.
Mm-hmm. You're back?
I'm back.
Okay,
did I
good.
black out for a minute?
I think you did. You feel good?
Make sure you bleep out the curse word there, Bobby.
I don't think there was a curse word. Maybe I blacked out.
So CNN Business talking about the Dow. People are going to see this. Oh, man, are things coming back? No, guys. There's a lot more pain coming before it gets better. So don't get tricked by a couple days. The stock market is this funny thing where I don't know what these guys are doing. I don't know what the algorithms are doing ever. You can't figure it out. You don't know why it's up or why it's down one day. When you think it should be up, it's down. When you think it should be down, it's up. Listen, there's no question that I still believe mortgage interest rates are going up over 7%. There's no question that I'm going to be right about the cold war of real estate where sellers are not selling because they're locked into 2.5% and buyers physically can't buy or aren't buying. This winter is going to be historically bad in real estate.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're already seeing it.
We're already seeing that. And so do not let 2 days of good stock market indications start to trick your mind that things are just going to turn around quickly. The Fed's telling you, inflation's telling you, all the indicators in your local market, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, are likely telling you this winter, and especially if you're in a Northeast type of market where the winter's bad anyways. Right. If December and January are historically bad for you.
And you get pummeled with snow.
This is going to be really bad.
Dead zone.
Make sure that you're, if somebody's asking you about this, if you're on a listing appointment, well, hey, the market's doing good. So, maybe we should raise the price of the house. Right? Have you ever heard that? Hey,
always.
These guys from New York, the stock market's doing good. They probably, let's raise it $100,000. Mm-hmm. I'd caution you on doing that in this market. And I'd probably point to what the Fed is actually saying. If they want to point to the Dow, point to what the Fed is telling you. There's a lot more pain coming. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just saying that is the reality of what's going on. The other reality is please hit the link below and donate to the Florida Association of Realtors for agents who have gone through, help your agent community, have gone through this hurricane and have nothing right now. So we also have the PropStream link below if you want to jack up your business.
But make sure we need 100 likes, right?
We need 100 likes.
Give
I'm donating $1,000 to the Natural Disaster Fund, specifically for realtors through the Florida Association of Realtors. And really appreciate you guys. And thanks for always listening. Consider subscribing to BAM if you haven't already on YouTube. See you next week.
See ya.